this session, and the first speaker of today is Matteo Pini from SU2. We'll talk about the SU2 working group 1 year in review. So, for a year.
Thank you, Nice, for the nice introduction. Welcome all to the second day. I'm very glad to see here now wearing the cap, not of TU Delft, not of other institutions, but of the foundation and the community. So I'm wearing the cap of a member of the SU2 Turbo Working Group. And I'm also very happy today because we are kicking off a full day dedicated to turbo machinery, which is probably a primer in this type of conference. So I'm going to show you that's how the title suggests what we as a working group did in the last year, what we accomplished, and also try to reflect a bit on what did happen and what we would like to improve. So let me start by showing you who we are and a bit of history, because maybe not all of you are aware of this kind of working group. So our yeah, already.
It was a great entry. Yeah, great intro.
Great intro. Okay. Good. So a bit of suspense. That was the point. So we established ourselves in 2022. It was maybe October 2022. And we were a few people from institutions that are listed here. There you can find a link to our contacts. We also created a logo, thanks to Josh Frank, that we are basically extensively used, and you can see also throughout the presentations of this morning. And in the SU2 community, if you go to the website, there are actually two working groups officially active. One is the Turbo Working Group, and the other one is the NEMO Working. So what we do in our activities, we of course, as you can imagine, as a working group regularly meet, discuss, and plan. We have a roadmap. I will talk a bit more about later. We started doing some real serious dissemination activities, and again, something we'll start on later. We take care of the verification and validation of the turbo machinery capabilities of SU2 via establishing a database of testing. And finally, last but absolutely not least, documenting what we do via tutorials, via also materials that we share publicly as a result of, for instance, events that we organize, like Summit. Now, these are our faces. So I'm not alone, luckily. So there are a few people. Some of them are here. Some of them are not here. Let's say the people that you can see here face with their faces are the people most active. And then time to time, we also gather other people coming really also from very far. So China, which is, by the way, a country in which SU2 is heavily used, but a country which is underrepresented in our conference. And we try to keep bonds because they are doing really amazing stuff there. And they have also the workforce, by the way. So, the objectives of this morning. I want to show you and reflect on the accomplishment. With also the aim to increase the awareness in the community of what the working group does, and possibly beyond the source of inspiration for others. So with the aim that, for instance, now there is growing interest in certain features, heat transfer, heat exchangers, combustion, and maybe through our example, maybe we can be a source of inspiration for others to create something similar. So let me start by showing you a deck of slides now with a number of accomplishments, starting with one very dear to our heart. So the improvement of what we call the turbo kernel. So for people that are a bit aware of the history behind, the machinery features have been something developed since 2015 around. And there have been major areas of developments. However, little effort for one reason or another to merge those features into the macro version. And this is something that with the working group we took care of, to the point that we implemented, or we made available, let me say like that, in the last year, new type of boundary conditions. We restructured, Josh will touch upon more extensively later, what we call turbo performance output to be able then to run optimization. We created or recreated a generalized interface engine, meaning that now if you download SU2, the developed version, or even the master version, the pull request is closed, you can perform arbitrary to machinery simulation with arbitrary interfaces, meaning that it is playing in the frozen rotor. I'm not spending much word, so if you're not aware of what an XC plane or a frozen rotor is, we can talk in the break. And what we did also extensively, we basically fixed various bugs that were inside the previous version of the book. So current development areas, as I said, this is what we did, what we took care of, and what we made available to the community. But there are also some development areas. Some of them are small development areas. Some of them are major development areas. So currently, what is following is we are completing, an effort into re-implementing the multi-zone district line for two-machine application, which was there up to few years back, but it's not anymore there in the multi-zone. And again, Josh, with all are performing an incredible amount of work. We are improving and working also on the Urals. I was mentioning China because their main effort is devoted to Urals computations. They were able to perform full angles of 360 Ural simulation of tile deflection. I will show you some results they share. Another presentation will be about body force modeling. I'm not going to take more here. And finally, robust mesh deformation to really enable large-scale optimization problems to be tackled really with the aim of making a situation industrially strong. There are a number of pull requests open. For those of you interested, if you go to GitHub, you can find that. You can also find the names of the people working on that. So in the Turbo group, also, what we try to keep pace. It's good to have a menus or a list, but behind this list, there are people with their priorities, with their flavors. And in the working group, we strive for, giving pace and giving, flow to people to contribute to all this and this. Now, a bit of validation and verification. We have created a database, a number of, relevant test cases. Some of them, like this one, is already available in the GitHub. So if you download the SU2 and then you download the test cases folder, you can also find this, multi-stage axial turbine test case. There is a small bug. One of the members of the working group is going to work, to fix it very soon. But this is not sufficient, in our opinion. And soon we'll release another one. So a compressor test case. So in such a way, there will be a turbine and a compressor test case. And then we have another one that hopefully, in due course will be made available to the community. And by the way, trust me, they're all working. It's unbelievable. We started also working on a tutorial. Finally. Now, events. I said, one of our main activities has been disseminated. We care a lot about this, not only because we want to provide a service to the community, but also we use this event as a triggering point for us. I mean, prepare material to finish up works, unfinished work. So it's really pushing incentive also to work on turbo stuff. So we started with a turbo workshop last year. If some of you attended and were here last year, we started for the third day of the conference last year was dedicated to this event. And the material is downloadable. There are the videos. So for those of you who'd like to be, to start training on turbo SU2, that's the first step, first way to go. Then the summer school in Delft last July was, in our opinion, a great success. Close to 20 participants, six speakers from 4 institutions, and the number of participants from all around the world. Well, we have been very happy to host people from Brazil, Turkey, and China. So this is also a way on how the community can keep the bonds with areas of the world that are typically not present here. Topics treated, again, here it's all available on openly, well, not fully, but soon will be. We talked upon now, we made an introduction to turbomachinery CFD. It was really a primer for beginners. Then we went into, simulations of different types of machinery, axle and radial. We switched then to aerodynamic shape optimization, and we conclude with just giving, a cool coding and concept. Finally, this is something that the working group did not actively do, so was not involved in, but I think it was something to be proud of as a community. So in the last GPPS conference in Canada, very bad place, trust me. No, it was the other way around. In Canada, there is every year, in Canada, at the GPPS conference, there is every year a CFD workshop. The CFD workshop is meant to compare the results obtained by different solvers, CFD solvers, on certain test stages that are then openly released. And SU2 was one of the solvers that was used by, the Chinese group that is heavily involved into SU2, so heavily used SU2. And this is the result that they got. So they tested SU2 on a multi-row axial compressor test case, which is one of the toughest, by the way, test cases, because it is a transonic machine, but it is a tough machine, with a non-uniform flow. So there are all the features that are typically relevant for different linear. And this is the result they got. You see the experimental curve and SU2 result with a different turbulent model. And it's not bad. By the way, they are interested in some advanced turbulence models. This is the TGO omega, and this is the publication where basically they did publish about it, they did document about it. But even by using the standard turbulence closures that are available in SU2, the SST, different versions, and the standard malas, I think it's able basically to reproduce the trends correctly, at least up to the highest efficiency point. Then, if you move towards the stop point of the compressor, you need to switch mode. Here are simulation with runs. If you want to go here, you need to switch at least to Euros. So, in comparison, what the CFD, so the main takeaway here out of the CFD workshop, and by the way, the results are available even on GitHub. They are basically uploading them. The main takeaway was that SU2 is doing well in comparison to other solvers, even commercial. There is a price to pay in performance that we all know, but in terms of accuracy, we are there. We are very much competitive. So to sum up, that's my last lesson learned. First, there is a larger and larger community of people interested in automation and capability. There are a large community of users at the moment, the much smaller community of developers. And this is what, as a working group, should like to strive for, to increase the community of developers. However, we know that it is a hard challenge, because there is a lot of enthusiasm. When we meet, you can ask us to, there's a lot of enthusiasm. People are really willing to meet on a regular basis. But on the other hand, we are a community of volunteers. It's hard to keep faith, keep commitment. So we started wondering on how to improve on that. And I'm throwing you here some ideas. So the bottom line is that all of this is voluntary work. And by the way, this does not only apply to this working group, it's all spread across this one. So I think we would need to implement some incentive. Also, as a way to reward people of the great work we are doing. And in the working group, we started thinking on how to do that. One way, maybe simple way, is to recognize the contributions officially via certificates. in such a way that a young person, a young student, a young PhD, young researcher can have a proof of his or her commitment to that. And then he or she can use this in the future professional career via, using it in the resume, or even by acquisition of credits by, for instance, at their institutions. We also wanted to establish a group award. You might think of other incentives, but here the message that as a community, and this is something, a message that also I'd like to convey, we need the board. We need really to push on that. And finally, if you want to join our gatherings and contribute, yeah, we have a dedicated Slack channel. I hope I've been clear and entertained you a bit. And I'd like to conclude with an announcement. So we would like to propose a second edition of the summer school. And here you see three pictures of possible venues in Europe. I'd say these three venues, for different reasons, are dear to me, but they're open to discussion. So it depends also on the budget, let me say. And the difference with respect to the first edition is that we'd like to have a session dedicated to unsteady flows next time. Also, the way of bringing the China community now into more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Matteo, for this nice presentation. So there is some room for questions. There's some.
What are the three locations, potential locations?
Right.
Not magic.
So one, you might recognize yourself, right? So there is actually a super cool meeting room.
It's here.
Room. You're upstairs. It's here. That's that's why I asked you before how to, how to approach the booking of this place. One is, our real location in the Netherlands, which is typically also cheap, very much affordable. That's the way we keep starting. And then another city in Italy, which is hosting the most, the oldest library in the world, which is UNESCO heritage. And there is a fantastic room in this library that can be used for this type of events.
And the name of the town is?
Siciliana, in Emilia Romagna. So, here to see. Let's see. Do you have the old one? That's it.
Really?
Yes.
I have a real question too. I found that test case really interesting. It kind of reminds me of the one from the TPPS. It reminds me a little bit of like Highlift or ICFD. Like, do a lot of people go and run this one test case?
Yes.
Everybody gets the results.
It's a blind comparing.
Is this relatively new? I didn't know that there was such a feature option.
It's in the third edition. Third edition. But for the first time, they released the data on GitHub. Very nice. So they are setting up the rate hope. They sent me the link.
Yeah, this is really
It's super cool. It's really super cool. There are experimental data, measurements related to the different test cases, and the test case is changing, year by year.
And was it the first workshop? Was an eye opener for me, because I would not ever have imagined the differences between the various solvers.
Yeah,
They were
amazing.
all over the place.
I'm sorry, so we have to continue. So thanks again, Matteo, for this presentation.